first day he became a Christian on the road to Damascus, if you check his life, it was just filled with trouble. Even in Damascus, the moment they knew the one who came to Damascus to arrest Christian has now turned and become one of them, they wanted to kill him. That Christians have to help him and let him out of Damascus to come back to Jerusalem. When he came back to Jerusalem, the people in Jerusalem, because if you check Acts chapter 8, towards the last verse, actually Acts chapter 8 from, I would say verse 3 or 4, the Bible used a very powerful word. It said Paul made a havoc of the church. So when he came back to from Damascus, look at it. Let me quickly find it for you. Verse 3, as I said, he said, as for Saul, he's still Saul there, he made havoc of the church, entering every house and dragging off men and women, committing them to prison. So that by the time Jesus met him on the road to Damascus, and that's in verse 9, in chapter 9, and he had an encounter, he was miraculously saved. By the time he escaped the persecution in Damascus and came to Jerusalem, the Bible said, look at it. It said, when he came back to Jerusalem, the disciples did not believe him. They were afraid of him. And let me see if this is it. Yeah. Acts chapter 9. Let me read verse 29 to you. What I'm trying to say to you is this. Your happiness and joy in life must not be situational. Listen to me. Your happiness and joy in life must not be situational. It must not be because everything is going good in your life. Your happiness and joy in life must be based on the fact that you know Jesus. That Jesus is the Lord of your life. And that no matter what happens to you in this life, God got you in the palm of his hand. But let me just write this a little bit to show you. The man that will coach, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. He shall supply all my need according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus. I forget those things that are behind. I press forward to the mark of the high calling in Christ Jesus. The man who wrote that, his life was from one trouble to the other. But it does not consider his affliction as a testament of either God is with him or not with him. He actually sees it as a badge of honor that is fighting the kingdom of darkness, and that's why they are fighting him like that. Until we have that mentality that we are at war with the enemy, we will always have a problem with our daily life. But look at, so this man has been saved. In Damascus, they didn't believe him or receive him. In Acts chapter 9, verse 29, it says, and when Saul had come to Jerusalem, he tried to join the disciples, but they were all afraid of him and did not believe that he was a disciple. And when all of that happened, he was still having trouble in Jerusalem. He ended up being sent and moved away to Tarsus, and he was there for 3 years. And when they came back, you will just see from one place to the other, serving the will of God. But since this is not my main message, but I want to use it to establish a pattern. In the book of Acts, I believe chapter 16, I was always amazed. Because we believe if we're in the perfect will of God, life should be easy. If we are doing what God asks us to do, why should we encounter problems? But if you read Acts chapter 15, it will tell you that the man called Saul is now called Paul. He has gone on a missionary journey with Barnabas, the first missionary journey. And they took a boy called John Mark. Is it John Mark? But along the way, John Mark returned back to Jerusalem. He did not finish the trip with them. So when Paul now said to Barnabas in Acts chapter 15, let us now go and check on the churches we established. Barnabas wanted to take John Mark again. And Paul said, no way. This quitter who left us in the middle of our mission will not go with us. The Bible actually said the dispute was very severe, that they were separated. So, so Paul now took Silas, and Barnabas took John Mark, and they went their separate way. But he said that the church prayed for the two teams. So Paul was in the direct will of God. But the direct will of God that he was in landed in jail, where in Acts chapter 16, he casted out a demonic spirit from a fortune teller that was following them. How can you be in the perfect will of God, doing God's work, and yet you ended up in prison?